Inside a shared workspace in downtown San Francisco, the sound of typing keyboards, murmured phone calls, and the occasional clink of coffee cups filled the air. Entrepreneurs and freelancers bustled about, building their dreams in the heart of Silicon Valley. Olivia Chong, a 30-year-old software developer with dreams of launching her own app, sat across from her business partner, Ethan Walker, a 35-year-old former corporate lawyer who had recently left his high-paying job to pursue the entrepreneurial life. They were deep in conversation about the challenges of starting a business in the U.S., their workspace providing a vibrant, collaborative energy.
I never thought starting a business would involve so much paperwork. I've been at it for months, and it feels like I'm drowning in legal forms, tax documents, and funding applications. Is this what you imagined when you quit your cushy law job?
Honestly, no. I knew there'd be bureaucracy, but I underestimated how much time and energy it would take just to get the basics up and running. It's like they want to test your endurance before you even start. How are things going on your end? Have you found any investors yet?
Not yet. I've been pitching my app to a few local venture capital firms, but most of them are hesitant to back a solo female founder in tech. It's frustrating, but I guess that's part of the game, right? Still, it feels like the cards are stacked against you unless you've already made it big somewhere else.
Yeah, that's the reality for a lot of first-time founders. Investors are risk-averse unless you've got a proven track record or some massive connections. But I think your app has serious potential. What's your plan moving forward?
I'm thinking of bootstrapping it for a while. Maybe raise some money through crowdfunding or take on a few more freelance gigs to keep things afloat. The problem is, it's hard to juggle developing the app, pitching to investors, and keeping my day-to-day work going at the same time.
Question. Olivia, what's the biggest challenge for you in launching a startup in the U.S.? A. Securing funding. B. Balancing time between projects. C. Navigating the legal and bureaucratic hurdles.
Answer. A. Securing funding. Ethan, the biggest challenge for me is definitely securing funding. Option A. There's so much competition for venture capital, especially in the tech space, and as a new founder, it's tough to convince investors to take a chance on something unproven. I know my app has potential, but without the capital to scale, it's hard to make real progress.
Yeah, that's a common issue for startups, especially those without a big network. Investors want to see quick returns, and they're often more interested in established entrepreneurs. But crowdfunding could be a smart move for you. Have you looked into platforms like Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
I have, and I'm seriously considering it. The challenge with crowdfunding is that you have to sell the vision just as hard as you'd pitch to an investor. But it might be the best way to get the app off the ground without giving up equity early on. It's risky, but what isn't when it comes to starting a business?
You're not wrong. Everything about this is risky. I gave up a stable income to jump into the deep end, and sometimes I wonder if I made the right decision. There are days when I miss the predictability of my old life, but I guess that's part of the entrepreneurial mindset. Being comfortable with uncertainty.
Isn't that the truth? One day, I'm convinced we're going to change the world, and the next, I'm wondering if I should just go back to freelancing full-time. It's like riding a roller coaster.
The startup roller coaster. Exactly. 1 minute, you're on top of the world with an exciting new idea, and the next, you're dealing with setbacks, wondering how you'll make it through. But that's what makes it exciting, right? No one day is the same.
Question. Ethan, what motivated you to leave a stable career to start your own business? A. The desire for more creative freedom. B. The potential for higher financial rewards. C. The challenge of building something from the ground up.
Answer. C. The challenge of building something from the ground up. Honestly, Olivia, it's the challenge of building something from scratch, option C, that drew me in. There's something incredibly satisfying about taking an idea and turning it into a reality. In my old job, everything was already laid out for me, predictable, but not fulfilling. I wanted to see if I could create something meaningful, something that would make an impact.
I get that. There's something special about knowing that what you're building is yours, that every success and failure is on your shoulders. It's scary, but also kind of empowering.
Exactly. And sure, the financial potential is nice, but for me, it's more about the journey. The ability to shape your own path, even when it's full of obstacles, is what makes it worth it.
As the two sat in their shared workspace, the sunlight filtered through the large windows, casting a warm glow over the room. Around them, other entrepreneurs worked on their projects, some talking to investors over Zoom, others brainstorming ideas on whiteboards. The energy in the room was palpable, full of ambition, determination, and dreams.
You know, even with all the challenges, I wouldn't trade this experience for anything. It's tough, but I've learned so much in just the past year. There's something about the startup environment that's so raw. Everyone's fighting for their dream, and you can feel that energy around you.
It's contagious. Being surrounded by other people who are just as driven helps keep you going. It's like, even when things get tough, you're reminded that you're not alone in the struggle. Everyone here is trying to make something happen, and that pushes you to keep moving forward.
Yeah, it does. So, what's next for us? We've got the idea, we've got the drive, but how do we make sure we actually succeed in this crazy world of startups?
I think we need to focus on building traction. Whether it's through crowdfunding or pulling in some angel investors, we need to get users, build momentum, and show that we're serious. Once we have a user base and some solid data to back us up, we'll be in a much better position to attract larger investors.
Agreed. Let's get to work. It's time to make things happen.
Question. Olivia, when it comes to scaling a startup, what do you think is the most important factor? A. Building a strong user base. B. Attracting high-profile investors. C. Developing a sustainable business model.
Answer. A. Building a strong user base. Ethan, I think building a strong user base, option A, is the key to scaling. If we can prove that people actually want and need our product, everything else, investment, partnerships, revenue, will follow. Investors care about traction, and users are the best proof of concept.
Couldn't agree more. Users are everything. Without them, no amount of funding will keep a business afloat. Let's make it happen.
As the afternoon light faded and the workspace began to empty, Olivia and Ethan packed up their laptops, energized by their conversation. Starting a business in the U.S. was no easy feat, but they both knew that the rewards, both personal and professional, made the challenges worth facing. Together, they walked out into the cool evening air, ready to continue their journey toward success. As they stepped onto the busy streets of San Francisco, Olivia and Ethan felt a renewed sense of purpose. The road to success in the startup world was long and uncertain, but they were ready for the challenge, determined to carve their own path in the entrepreneurial landscape. 5 words and phrases related to the theme of startups in America.
Bootstrapping. Starting and growing a business with minimal financial resources or outside investment. Venture capital. A form of private equity financing provided by investors to startups and small businesses with high growth potential.
Crowdfunding. The practice of funding a project or venture by raising small amounts of money from a large number of people, typically via the internet. Traction. Evidence that a startup is growing and gaining a user base or revenue, which is critical for attracting investors.
Angel investor. An individual who provides financial backing for small startups or entrepreneurs, typically in exchange for ownership equity or convertible debt.